We live. All right. All righty. Let's see what's going on tonight. Let's see who all shows up.
Seeing how they drape, how they drip.
We got two people. One person, two people, maybe. All right, guys, welcome in. We'll see who all comes in tonight. Supposedly and hopefully everything works out. I got RD Reynolds from RD Reynolds Outdoors. He's going to be coming in tonight, getting on panel with me. I'm not sure if Bruce is going to be here. I know he's got some family things that are going on, and I'm not sure about Chris. So, Chris, if you're in there hiding in the background, come on up. So we're going to have our little panel, hopefully get a panel tonight and nothing else. We'll just sit there and chat and talk about new things and what's going on. RD's here. All right. RD, I just put a link in the chat room. You can just grab a hold of that. And like I said, once you get everything up and running, turn your YouTube off. Just keep the StreamYard up. Once I see RD come down in the basement, when he gets him in the basement, I'll bring him on up. Oh, we got 8 people in here already. Craig, what's up, brother? How you doing? What's going on today? Jeff, what's up? How you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, Daddy Duck is proud to present the one and only RD Reynolds from Lancaster, South Carolina. Yay!
Wow, what a intro there was. Hopefully not to let you down on that one.
Oh, that's what I have to build you up, man. That way, I got you up.
I gotta have to take my hat off because my head won't fit.
Ted, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Everybody that's in here tonight, this is RD Reynolds. I would call him RD. Craig's hips out of tonight. Lots of pain. Boy, I'm sorry to hear that. RD's got a YouTube channel called RD Reynolds Outdoors. He's from my home state of South Carolina. He's up in the Lancaster area, not Lancaster, Lancaster. Y'all need to learn how to pronounce it correctly. But he's got a little outdoor channel, and we're just going to be sitting up here talking about ducks and guns and all kind of stuff tonight. Jeff, yeah, I finally got that. I finally got the shotgun, man. I got the one I've been looking for. And then RD has to put a throw a wrench at the monkey. I mean, throw a wrench at the monkey.
Hey, let's talk about it. It's on the talking list.
Listen, if y'all once I get some moderators going on in here, we'll get your stuff up. Just picked up Ted Off the Hook Outdoors. Just picked your channel up. He's a shotgun fanatic. He does a lot of stuff you do a lot of stuff on your channel with shotguns. I know you like to shoot skeet and whatnot.
Shotguns are my favorite. I think I own maybe 3 rifles.
Yeah.
But the ratio to shotguns is way.
Way up. If I could open up that safe behind me, I've got one rifle that's mine, and my son has three. His house got flooded last Christmas, and he brought a lot of guns over here, and he's taken all of them. But I got three of his rifles in here and a shotgun. He just hasn't picked them up yet. Hey, Ted, appreciate that. I forgot you were a moderator. Local Life Outdoors. Y'all, if y'all ain't picked up Local Life Outdoors, he's another South Carolina boy. Off the PD River, does a lot of fishing, a lot of brim fishing on the PD. But RD, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your channel.
All right, my name's RD. I do have a real name, but everybody calls me RD. I'm 43, married, 2 kids. I've been hunting most of my teenager life, but recently, probably the past, we're going to say 3 years. So this is coming on my 4th year of going down the duck hunting money hole, money pit adventure. Somewhere maybe midsummer last year. I always had a YouTube channel. I used to do some remote control racing, and I had some videos on there. But sometime around last summer, I was like, you know what? Let's start doing some shotgun videos and different stuff with shotgun. And just like Daddy Duck, we're from South Carolina, so we don't have them tornado of ducks. So, we have to find different stuff to not show us killing ducks. So, we get one or two cooking. We're happy.
That's why I started doing cooking videos while I'm out there.
People's like, where's the pals? Where's the pals? Welcome to South Carolina. We don't have pals. But we do have some nice birds in here. I mean, last fall, I shot a blue-winged teal down towards Charleston. So I mean, I was pretty stoked about that. So I mean, we get birds. It's just 1 or 2 here and there.
Well, we do have a lot of birds that stop here. It's just that they are on well-managed properties. And most of it's going to be private. And if in my humble opinion is if DNR would get off its butt and fix up these WMAs, these category 1s and some of these category 2s, I think we could have a lot of ducks that are staging in the public areas. But until that happens, it's all going to hit private property.
Hey, it might be a different year this year too, because it's normally hotter and we have got a lot of rain. So,
yeah,
I mean, who knows what the season might look like? I mean,
the way I look at it is we got 87 days or 86 and a wake up.
That's right.
We got 86 days and a wake up, and we're going to be hunting waterfowl. So,
I planted my millet yesterday for some doves. So that's when dove season starts coming in, that's when we start practicing.
Yeah. Well, we got the early goose season starts September 1st.
September, that's right.
September 1, I mean.
Hey, and last year, me and my buddy, we went and got on some geese, and I know where some geese are. You want to get in a kayak with me? We can.
After what I heard about a certain kayak, I don't know. I just may just go swimming. I might just go ahead, put my stuff in the boat, and get behind it and push it.
I may have made a video yesterday, and
it's not out yet, is it?
No, I just edited it today. It's gonna come out this coming Saturday. So
okay. All right.
I had a sit-in style kayak, and I bought a sit on top of kayak, and it didn't go so well.
Yeah, well. Hey, Red-Headed Goose is in here. For those you don't know, that's my daughter-in-law. And hopefully my grandson is watching. So, little Matt, what you doing, buddy? Let's see here. Well, what got you into well, you said you were hunting when you were a teenager, but what got you into the details, the in-depth stuff of shotgunning? Because I mean, you're some of your videos, I mean, you're getting in some pretty in-depth stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, so basically, obviously, from the South Carolina, where Lancaster is. It wasn't a very rich town. Obviously, I grew up pretty poor with a single family, one person working in the not really a single family. I meant single father working in the mills. We're surrounded by mills. You thought when you were born you were gonna go work in a mill, and that was the way of life. But growing up, that's all I had was a shotgun, and you learn how to shoot it. So dove hunting was the thing. Shot deers with shotguns. I still had that same shotgun, but I just love shotguns. I don't know why. You get to shoot skeet. You see things, when you shoot with a shotgun, they kind of explode. And you don't have to worry about what if I miss 300-400 yards down where the bullet goes. So it's kind of, I say it's safer, but probably 4 years ago, I started at a new job, and them guys duck hunted, and I always wanted to go duck hunting, and that turned into turkey hunting. And I have to say, I think I was 39 the first time I ever went duck hunting and turkey hunting.
Oh wow!
So in the same year, so it caught on, and wow, that's about all I could say.
If for some reason I had to quit duck hunting, turkeys would be I'd change the channel, because it'd be strictly turkey hunting. I love it. I mean, I deer hunt a little bit, but deer hunting to me is for meat. I do not care about the size of horns he got on his head. Doesn't bother me. I mean, it could be a goat spike buck. I don't care. I'm there for the meat, and that's what I like about deer hunt. That's what as far as deer hunting goes.
The one thing that I enjoy about duck hunting the most and turkey hunting is me and you can go get in a boat. We can go cook breakfast. We can talk. We can chit chat. Them ducks ain't hearing us. They don't care. Right. They can't even smell us.
Right.
But here I am for deer hunting. I got to put my clothes over here. Got to make sure the wife ain't watching them with the regular clothes. And you go out there. It's just, you try to take your kids. Daddy, that's not whispering, son. Yeah. But duck hunting, you can carry on a conversation.
Oh yeah, it's growing up. For me growing up here in South Carolina, opening day dove season was a party. I mean, it was.
That's right.
I don't care if school was in session. You got out of school before 11 o'clock, so you could go to the field. Usually at an old farmer's house, there would be a meal. There would be old guys talking about shooting doves. You eat because at 12 o'clock is when the hunt started, and it was a big party. And those shooting doves like that, and especially here in the South, that's what we did. Well, duck hunting is the same thing. It's like a little party. You got the initial get together. You got the ride out into the swamp or wherever you're hunting, into the marshes. If you get there in time, you can cook. You can cook if you get there and get all your stuff set out, you can cook pre-hunt, or at 9 o'clock, wait to 9 o'clock or so, and then you can cook breakfast. I do it all the time when I have people with me. Now, when I hunt by myself, I don't cook, but when you can talk, you can cut up, you can laugh, you can have a really good thing.
Especially too, you're like, if we're in a boat and be like, all right, you're gonna get first shot. If you miss, then I'm getting it. And deer hunting, there ain't no passing the shot to the other person, or for the most part, you're not gonna take double shots. I mean, there's occasionally, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I agree. I look forward to duck season, and I'm already the wheels are already turning. I can't wait.
I got to answer a question real quick. Red-headed goose again is my daughter-in-law, and she said, "Did you pull swamp goose out of school for hunting?" Swamp goose is my son. Yes, I did. Not only did I pull him out for dove season, duck season, I pulled him out to go fishing. I pulled him out. I just went and got him and said, "Come on, let's go." Where's he going? He's got a doctor's appointment. He ain't coming back.
That's right. It's education.
Yeah, it is. I think education is a very important thing, but there's other things in life that are just as important. Let's see here. Trying to catch up on some of the chat here. You can't see the chat unless you're actually looking on YouTube. Jeff Barrett says hunting gets in your soul. Yes, it does. He also prefers a shotgun. I better not pull a little goose out of school. Nikki, if you can, tell Swamp Goose that Craig said hello. Let's see here. I won't. No, I wouldn't pull him out of school. No. But I do want to take him. I do want to take him. Charles Holden is in the house. Cole, how you doing, Charles? Getting back to now, you hunt all public land, right? Do you have any private stuff?
Yeah, I got a couple local ponds, what I call the residential goose flyaway. They just fly from one pond to the other pond to the cemetery and back. It's just a circle that the geese fly. I get on them, but a lot of it is public land.
Okay.
That you got to get up at 2:00 and be there to get your spot.
Right. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
But so far, we really hadn't had any bad. There you hear the war stories, but there's a reservoir in our town that it doesn't get too full of hunters. But it's come shooting time, the wood ducks fly, boom, 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 and
it's done.
It's done. So.
Yeah, it's done. Now, you've been hunting in North Carolina quite often too, haven't you?
I have, and I was talking with a guy today, Poor Boy Outfitters. That's who I went with to get my swan. And I was talking with him today about maybe setting up, going up there and maybe getting some of them snow geese.
Okay.
Because they put out a lot of snow geese decoys. Obviously, again, we're not getting the snow geese snow geese like they get out west, but they get a lot of snow geese up there in the Outer Banks. And we almost got the opportunity last year when I was swan hunting to take out some snow geese, but some swans were coming in, so we decided not to be shooting.
Right.
I was really hoping to get on some of them snow geese, but I was talking to him. I said, I want to come up there and maybe take out snow goose. If not, I'll make some good video and it'll be another YouTube. But
have you been out west to snow goose hunt?
No. Tennessee, Reelfoot Lake's the furthest I would say west that I've been.
Right. You ever get into Arkansas? Now they have the lesser snow goose, right, where we have the greater snow goose.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm gonna tell you, I've seen birds coming in, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 geese that are coming in. You can't hear nothing. You can't hear.
Right. And you go to the Outer Banks too, and up there I think it's what is it, P Island?
Yeah.
Where the refuge is, and you go out there and you look at them ducks and them swans and the snow geese. They're like that. That's about the closest I could tell you anywhere around here. Just thousands of birds. But yeah, I love going to the Outer Banks, and I was hoping to get on some of them Brants, however
Brant.
some people call them different. But yeah, the guy was like, man, they've been on us all week and didn't see a single one.
That was my luck.
I had nothing but bubbleheads.
I had a couple days on that last year. Man, they're here. I'm seeing, and I'm like, I get up there and like, and in true daddy duck fashion, the weather would just warm up. I mean, it was just like, and everything just shuts down.
Yeah.
Or the wind's coming out of the wrong direction or whatever. But
it was pretty cool to be out there in the sound, and we were right there near Okoco, and you see the ferry coming in, dolphins swimming by you, and you're out there duck hunting. I mean, it's one of them once in a life deals.
Oh, yeah.
The only downside, it takes so long to dry there. Maybe we'll get rich on this YouTube thing, and we could just start flying to the Outer Banks.
Oh yeah, if I sell one more hat, I'll be a millionaire. So yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
You're gonna have to sell one more hat to pay off that Sweet 16 you just bought.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you. But anyway, I see you got your micrometer with you.
That's right.
Now here's how this went, guys. Just so you know, I had been talking with RD. We've been talking back and forth on the phone for quite some time, and I told him
and we were going to go hunting last year, but it dried up.
Yep.
What was it, Youth Day or whatever, and they lowered the water down, so it didn't rain for 3 weeks.
There was nothing. I mean, that little puddle. I mean, we hunted a mud puddle that morning, but he knew I was going to be getting the gun. He just didn't know when. So when I got it, I called him and we were talking, and all of a sudden he throws this bomb in my face, and it has to do with the choke tubes and
how tracky they are.
I've shot the gun, but I have not patterned the gun yet, guys. I'm just being straight up. So let's hear it. Let's go ahead and fire it up.
It's nothing like buying a $2,000 shotgun to get a piece of trash. So I own, and you know it. So I own the Wicked Wings A5 in 12 gauge, just like yours, but yours is a Sweet 16. And then I own the Wicked Wings Maxus 2. And we have talked on this channel before, and other guys have talked about how trashy the Maxus 2 is about jamming. And there's plenty of videos on that, but that's for a different day. So on my venture of YouTube, I've decided to do series on just testing ammo. Just let's put this brand of ammo and this gun with these chokes and just see what goes. And that's pretty much what last year's beginning of YouTube was. Just shooting any kind of ammo that I could get for duck season. And then it moved into turkey ammo. And I could tell you now, there is some really crappy ammo, and there's some really good ammo out there. So,
all right. So let's before you get too involved with that, go ahead and what is your recommendation right now for waterfowling ammo? Yep. Go ahead and say it, dude. Boss ammo. Yeah.
I got this up here because I figured we were going to talk about my other video on them stingers. But you want to stay on the topic. So on my pattern testing, I would shoot boss out of my Maxus at a target, and we're just gonna say it had 50 pellets on the paper. I'd go get my A5. I'd shoot the same ammo, the same size, same number, and I would only get 30 pellets on the paper. I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense. They're both Brownings. The only difference is the chokes. This is the DC, and the other one's the Invector Plus. So I called up, called some choke tubes, and I talked to a guy, and he was like, that don't make no sense. He was like, I think you got a bad choke tube. He said, go measure it. So I went and got it, and I measured it. So that's what I was telling you. So they came with 3 of them, and these are really fancy. I mean, they're Goose Band. I mean, I don't even think you probably can buy them off their website. I mean, they're 4 Wicked Wings guns. So you get the improved cylinder, the modified, and the full. So on talking about shotguns, say me and you were going hunting, and I was a new hunter. What would be the choke that you would recommend a new hunter bring? Probably a modified. That's what probably everybody would say. A year ago, I would have been down that road. Modified. Modified is the way to go. But now, knowing shotguns and learning so much about modified chokes, I don't even know what to recommend to anybody choke size anymore, because modified across the board ain't even the same. If you measure 2 Brownings that are exactly the same, exactly Invector Plus, them 2 choke tubes won't even be the same. I mean, the tolerance is so far off, we're not even helping new hunters. So basically all I say now is get you a set of shells that you're going to shoot, stick with that shell, and pattern your choke.
Yep.
Hands down, get out there and pattern, because I was struggling with this gun until I started patterning it. And then when I do measure it, we're going to put it in millimeters here. I don't know if that's going to show up. It could be backwards, but it should be 18.7. I'm not sure.
I can't see it. Somebody else might be able to, but I can't.
All right. Well, take my word for it. That's 18.7 millimeters in the improved cylinder. So then when I go to the mod, 18.5. I wish I could get that on camera better. Let's see. 18.5. And then we jump into the full. It goes all the way down to 17.7. That's a huge difference. So going in between improved cylinder and mod made absolutely no difference in my gun. When I put the same ball shell in, they shot exactly the same. There was no difference in pellets. There was no difference in pellet counts. The pellets looked the same on paper. So what I did was I bought a set of Carlsons and just got done with it, and now it is a true mod versus whatever Browning thinks they came up with it. But like I said, I'll convert it. I know we're not in metric, we're in inches. So just to go over it again, improved cylinder, 740. And in my modified, 733. And then full is all the way down to 701. So there's really big jumps. I mean, you could really mess up as a new hunter by not pattern testing your gun.
You can mess up as an old hunter and not pattern. I mean, I think anytime you pick up a new gun, or whether it's brand new off the shelf out of the box or off of a rack, you're buying off consignment, you should always pattern your guns.
Absolutely. That's exactly
before shooting. Now, when you did your pattern testing, what was your range? What was your maximum?
I was doing 30 and 40 range.
30 and 40.
30 and 40. It depends on the video. I mean, I haven't hit that 1,000 subscriber yet to make that big money that you're making in from. So ammo, waterfowl ammo is
Hey,
not
Ron.
cheap. Waterfowl ammo is not cheap, and I don't have a sponsor yet. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to make 2 videos, one at 30 yards, one at 40 yards, to make more content. But yes, I was doing 30 and 40, but that's what I came up with. So I have three choke tubes right here, 3 different kinds. The top one is a Browning, the middle one is the Browning, and this one down here is a Winchester Signature. They're all improved cylinders. So this is where I'm talking about setting up people for failure. That's 739, 718, 735. Ain't none of them the same. So going back to the hey, just get a modified and you'll be good to go is not true. And a modified and what you were talking about, I shot Brownings, I shot Berettas, I shot Stogers, and the modified, you start, when these ain't even the same and you start jumping manufacturers across the board, it is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very confusing. And then
it is. And, you're right. I just spent $2,000 on and by the way, I have no sponsors either, but, and just cause you hit 1,000 don't mean nothing. Cause I ain't been paid since December, but, I just spent $2,000 on my dream gun.
yeah.
I've been wanting this thing since they came out.
Oh, I know how you feel. You go look at I think my second video.
Right.
That was the first video, the biggest one I got. The first video, brand new Maxus out of the gate, it jammed.
Yeah.
Like second shell, I'm like, I just spent $2,000 on a gun that jammed.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's nothing. It's going to go away. It hadn't been shot enough. No, it never went away. It's finally fixed. It's fixed now.
What was the issue?
The carrier on a Maxus 2 has the metal that makes the carriers go up is normally 2-sided. Well, Browning done away with this side, and it's a one arm carrier system, so it moves, and it was out of alignment. So what it would do, it would jam that shell up into the barrel.
Now you did a video on that, didn't you?
Yeah. And I bent it straight, and it ran perfect, and then it started jamming on 3.5 inch. And I said, I'm done with it. Sent it back to Browning for the second time, and when I got it back, it had a whole new trigger assembly. It was, I don't know if they actually worked on it or just took the 2 pins out, threw it away, and put a whole new carrier in it. But
right.
I wasn't the only one that had problems out of
that. My good buddy Andy, you may know him. He may have I think he contacted you.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were duck hunting last October in North Carolina, and let's just say the mallards were falling out of the sky, and I heard some choice words behind me, and I turned around and what happened? He says, my gun jammed. I said, and he's got the brand new, Maxus, and I'm like, oh man, he goes, and he was shooting. I think he was shooting boss. He may have. I don't know. I don't know if he was shooting boss or not, but I can understand bad crimps. I've had, I haven't had Bosch yet do it, but I've had Federals and Winchesters do. They had bad crimps and they'll jam your gun up. But that whole carrier system. I saw the video and that's why I brought it up. I'm like, wow.
But them A5s though, I have a heart for them A5s. I love them humpbacks, and I got that series on all them old humpbacks.
Right.
But that humpback,
I actually watched that today. I from start to finish watched that video today while I was.
Well, I got one more in that series that I haven't done yet, and it's the Winchester Widowmaker. So it is the first semi-automatic made in the United States, and I'm telling you, that is the weirdest gun ever.
The Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker.
That was wasn't that a Savage?
Winchester.
Winchester.
Winchester 1911. It doesn't have a charging handle.
Right.
Because Browning owned the patent for the charging handle, and you had to grab it by the barrel.
Yeah.
That you just shot 3 shells out of that now is hot.
Now it's hot. Yeah.
I mean, who would have ever thought that was a good idea? Let's put grip at the end of the barrel, and when you run out of shells, you grab it here and you cock it. Who knows that? But the Auto 5 that we have, the new Auto 5, that is the easiest gun to clean. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's almost in that Stoker category of. I mean, I hate to put Browning with Stoker, but I mean, you can give a Stoker to a new person and say clean that gun 3 parts. I mean, it's like
you're done. Yeah,
you're done clean. It doesn't matter. But you know, some of these newer guns, you might have to bust out the manual on how to clean the gun.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, so, just your old A5s.
Oh my god! Go watch that video.
The Belgium, the old Belgium A5s.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm an armorer. I am not a gunsmith. I am a certified armorer, and I still take my 16. It's the only true Belgium A5 I have. I still take it to a gunsmith every year and say, clean it.
And they're going to charge you 3 times more for that gun to clean than a regular gun.
Yep.
Because I did that video on Salvage made it, but it was actually Western Auto brand. You're I think just a tad bit older than me, so we know we know what Western Auto is. You know, you used to go down to Western Auto and buy a gun.
Yeah.
Parts store. So
I got my first shotgun I have in this cabinet. It's a 20 gauge Winchester. It's a 20 gauge Winchester, Youth 20, that was bought in the Western Auto, in the sporting goods section of the Western Auto.
Nope.
Yeah.
Hey, my first rifle came from. I was like 18 when I first got my first rifle, but it came from Kmart.
Yeah.
Now we're saying some of these people on here might not even know what Kmart is anymore. But
ours was a while back.
That Western Auto that I took apart, I did not attempt to take it apart by myself by any means. I went over to a friend's house who cleans a lot of guns, and like you said, I could shoot guns, but I don't get into that. And literally, he busted out with this kit that had like 452 flathead screwdrivers in it. Not knowing, I never knew they had that many flathead screwdrivers. But you had to have like 6 flatheads to take that gun apart.
Yep.
I mean, you had to take a screw out to take another screw out, and then you had just screws and springs. But we got it apart. Somebody, it was anodized black. Somebody spray painted it. I mean, it looked like they painted it with a paintbrush. I took it apart, got it all cleaned up, and it's down to the aluminum. I mean, it is shiny. But I wanted to make that video on taking that gun apart because there was no YouTube video on how to take a Western Auto 5 apart. So we took it apart.
Sorry about that.
But sadly, taking it apart, we actually had to go back and watch the video on how to put it back together on one part. There was one part of that carrier. Man, that dog's getting big.
Yeah, she has to. She. I don't know if you heard her. She was knocking on the door. I got my door shut. She was knocking on the door and like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to make my debut in here, every day. Every time I do this, she's got to come in here and see everybody.
That dog's gonna be eating a bag of dog food before 2 months longer.
Oh, she's eating it now, dude.
Good gracious!
Look at it. I don't know.
I mean, that dog's gonna be huge.
Ron says, I'm gonna put this on the screen real quick, if I can. Oh, wrong one. Let me see.
Oh, talking about the Boss 3.5. I'm still a poor shot.
No, this is. He says, I'm not at those. He goes, I think he's saying, I'm not sure if those extended choke tubes help any. Any thoughts?
So there is a guy on YouTube. It's that Surviving Duck Season, and he's got a whole series of extended choke tubes. Which ammo does extended choke tubes that are ported? Do they actually help? That's a great series to watch. My thoughts on it is, what works for my gun don't work for your gun, and what works for your gun ain't gonna work on my gun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. Two exactly the same type guns, and literally, and if you read a lot on the internet, these new super black eagles, they're talking about going in there and twisting the choke a half a turn this way, and it's improving on the patterns. I mean, that's literally how far they're getting down to. I mean, it makes no sense.
I have extended choke tubes on my guns, on some of my guns. I have a Remington 1100 that I got the Kicks choke tubes for, and I've got a Browning Silver. By the way, if you need to borrow that for that video you were talking about, let me know. But I've got Kicks choke tubes. I shot them with the factory tubes. I didn't like the patterns, and I bought the Kicks, and my patterns increased. I mean, they just got better. They were just better patterns all across the board. And then I've got some that have got factory tubes, flush tubes, that are perfect. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, why go to them if, you know. So I'm of that theory of, if you buy a gun, you got the factory tubes, pattern test it. If you want to see if something else is better, then yeah, go ahead. But you could go through 10 or 15 tubes.
And they are not cheap.
And they're not cheap.
No, they're not. And you know, you see people that's selling choke tubes online, and I would, me personally, I would not recommend buying used choke tubes, because you don't know how they were treated,
right? And
you don't know if they wore out. But going back to Ron talking about he shoots modified A5 and the 3.5s and is a poor shot. One thing I have learned this year, and I talked about it in one video that I think I just made. Pick a shell and stick with it for everything. Now, granted, I know you're not going to shoot 3.5s at skeet, but what I have learned with skeet shooting, find something that is close to that boss. That boss is shooting at 1325 or 1350 feet per second. Don't go buy them bottom of the shelf Walmart brands that are shooting 1100, 1200, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be practicing with skeet and dove shooting 1100, and now you're shooting with ducks. You're going to be leading them completely different because your shells are going two different speeds. That makes a huge But also, Ron, I'm going to throw another kink in your 3.5, and Daddy Duck knows about it too. Boss just came out with a new shell that pre-designed wad, and I have it over there on the shelf. I have that new pre-design. Let me get it.
Go ahead.
Not that it's going to show anything, and I'm not sponsored by Boss, but maybe one day they might feel sorry for us poor people. But this War Chief, 3.5 War Chief, if you think that 3.5 is deadly, the old version, this new wad and this 3.5 is amazing, and it's also going to be biodegradable.
Yeah.
So I think that's great because what you talked about earlier, you asked that I hunt a lot of public land, and I do. And what I try to do in public land is you're on that bank and the birds are done quit flying. You would be surprised how many people don't pick up their shells.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like last year, I went on a mission just picking up shells. I mean, I come back with a Walmart bag full of shells. So I mean, it's sad. Now I'm not going to be the one to say I don't pick up every shell because when you're shooting and they're floating off in the water, yeah, I'm not going out there to get all of them. But I do try to make an attempt to at least leave it better than I got there.
Jeff is saying he's waiting for the 20 gauge War Chief.
Well,
let me ask.
I did see on there is a post, not on Boss's website. There's like a fan. I can't pull it up on my phone because it's in use. But there's another Boss group, and he did say that the 2 3/4 was not going to be in the new wad. Even though I do have the 2 3/4, I don't think that's going into production. And they had a whole list of all the new shells that were going to be in that new wad pre-designed.
Let me ask you this question, and I want to step back and go back into patterning guns. Now, I didn't pay it that much attention, so I'm going to have to ask. Did you see when you were shooting your Maxes versus your A5 with the DS choke and the Invector choke? Did you see a pattern of shot either to the left or to the right, more or less? Am I making sense there? I mean,
yeah, you are, and I fixed that with my guns because they come with them shim kits and
that's where I was going at.
Yes, both of mine have been shimmed for that. Right. Yes, so the A5, and if nobody's ever shot an A5, when you throw that A5 up, that hump is in your face. It is like an A5 is on its own. But yes, my A5 was pretty much right. That Maxis, when I looked down it was like, because both of them guns have double beads.
Right.
Well, let me take that back. The Wicked Wings edition, I don't know about the other models. The Wicked Wings editions have double beads. So when you do that, close your eyes, throw it up, and you look, my beads were off. So yes, I adjusted mine. Now, and that comes with pattern testing.
That comes with pattern testing. Now,
that's right.
Do you think shimming your gun to those choke tubes? If you were, so say a guy he's got a brand new gun, and we're going to go back to the Browning A5 Wicked Wings period with the DS, with the banded DS choke tubes. Okay. And he goes and patterns his gun between 35 and 40 yards. I pattern guns at 35. That's the maximum I'm going to shoot. So I'm patterning that gun, and I hit that target, and I go down and look at it, and I got a little bit of a pattern more to my left or more to my right. but everything looked good as I put it to my face. Do you think shimming the gun to because you're now shimming the gun to the choke tube, not necessarily to your face?
That's right. And you could do that. But you also got to take in consideration the dog knocking again.
Yeah, she wants out.
So you got to take into consideration too, when you're shimming and adding the spacers on the rubber at the end, the buttstock, that length of pull. Sometimes I say the correct word. Sometimes people correct you. You didn't call it right, but you know what I was talking about.
Right.
But I'm in a t-shirt today. Come January, I'm going to be in thick jacket. I might not need that spacer come January. So when you're talking about setting that gun up, you need to go put a jacket on for that. And I understand some people may not financially have the means to, but my shotguns, and I am not the best shotgun person out there to be shooting. I miss just like everybody else. And them people that's got all them good videos where birds are piled up, they miss too. So I keep my shotguns for what I'm going to use them for. I got a skeet shotgun. I got a shotgun for deer hunting. I got a shotgun for doves. And I got a shotgun that I use for duck hunting. I kind of keep them that way, and I keep the chokes in there. And I have told my wife, hey, if I ever kick the bucket, make sure my son's 8 now, but if he's still young and I kick the bucket, hey, make sure he don't put the wrong shell in one of these guns and just blows the barrel up. Send him to a class and let him learn. You can't put this choke in that because, I mean, it is the truth.
Right. Because I'm looking, a lot of people, and not necessarily who's in here tonight, but a lot of people, they buy a gun, they throw it up for the first time in the store. And a lot of stores now don't even want you doing that anymore.
That's right.
So they take it out and they shoot it a couple times, to see how it cycles, and then they start to shoot skeet, or they go take it to a dove field, and they're like, oh man, it's a brand new gun, I can't hit crap with it, and they end up selling the thing, and the reason they bought it is because their friend told them, hey, you need to buy this gun with these choke tubes. Take your old choke tubes, throw them in the trash, buy these brand new ones over here. And then, but no, guys, you've got, when you get a gun, you've got to shoot it. You got to pattern test it. You got to take it to the range. You got to practice with it. My length of pull, you talk about length of pull, my personal length of pull, depending on the gun, is between 14 and 14 and a quarter.
Yeah.
That is.
And they're not the same. You can't shoot mine and I can't shoot yours.
Exactly. But that's pretty much my baseline. Depending on, like, a Remington is a 14. My Remingtons, I've got them down to 14 length of pull. My Brownings all my Brownings, to include my side-by-side, are 14 and a quarter.
And sadly, I don't know anybody that can set that gun up for you. Like, I've called around to try to find. You see these videos of these professionals doing it, and they're looking at it, and they're closing their eye and looking down the barrel. I don't know anybody around here that could help you set up a gun. It's just strictly trial and error.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be glad to pay somebody to help me set my gun up so I didn't waste so much ammo.
And to fit you to that gun. Yeah.
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 And that probably could help the sport too, but
I mean, there's some gunsmiths in the state, but I don't think any of them will set up for, like, what's that boy's name in Arkansas? I think his last name is Reynolds too.
God help him.
He does a lot of camo and guns. He does trigger work and does all kind of stuff. and he's out of Arkansas, and he's literally the only guy that I personally know that can set a shotgun up for you. But the man's in Arkansas,
And like you were talking about going to a gun store and testing them and holding them, I struggle with the green indigo bead at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it. And you watch these people shoot shotguns and they tell you, oh, you ought not even have a bead on the end. You shouldn't be looking at the bead. I got to have the bead. And the green and the morning sunrise, and I'm getting up there with you on age, and I'm gonna say something, and you're gonna exactly know what I'm talking about. That these younger people ain't gonna know. When I throw that shotgun up, and I can't see that green in the early morning shooting, I'm like, well, is that a bird, or is that one of them things floating by my eyeballs?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh no, that was a floater. It wasn't a duck. It was a floater in my eyeball.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more floaters you got, and you're doing like this, and you think it's a gnat, and
I've already got the package opened and put on, but those high vis sights, those magnetic high vis sights. Now I have not put it on the new gun, but I lost one this year. It popped off somehow. And when I was in the store the other day buying some ammo, I picked up one just to put it on that gun. But yeah, dude, I know what you're saying. I've got to put that red high vis sight on that front. No. And I'm not using the sight for aiming. I'm using
it for leading.
I'm using it for a lead, and I'm using it to keep my freaking head on the stock.
Yeah.
Because if I'm looking over it, because I do the same thing, dude. I want to watch ducks. So I'm shooting like, way up there like this when I should be down.
I do the same thing. I don't put my problem is I don't get my cheek on the butt stop.
Yeah.
I'm shooting before. I'm just like you. Oh my goodness. And shooting too early. And that little bit of difference makes a huge.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've shot from under my armpit. I want to see those ducks fly, but yeah. So, but Mark J. Larson says maybe you're colorblind like me.
No, I passed that test in my yearly physical, but
all right.
One of the things I did have was them new stingers. Well, they're not new. I think Boss had them for a long time. I've never shot them.
Oh yeah, talk about those stingers, man.
These stingers are for the older gentlemen. They're 1 ounce low recoil ball shells. So if you love ball shells, but your shoulder hurts, you need to look at them stingers. And so the last video, one rolling around away from me, I shot number 2s, number 3s, number 4s, the 3.5s, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8, because some states don't allow dove hunting to use lead. So Boss has 7 and 8s. But these, you shot enough guns. When somebody hands you a number 2 to go goose hunting, what do you think your shoulders are going to feel like? You just got, man, number 2s are going to kick like a mule. This number 2 that I shot, you watched the video and you even commented like, well, I think you was a little excited over that.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally, now I had hearing protection on, but it sounded like I shot a 22. I mean, it didn't kick. It was quieter and put down a nasty pattern on the paper. And I'm like, this is why them older guys are dropping these 12 gauges and going to the 16, the 410s, the 28 gauge, because
right.
they're tired of their shoulder hurting.
Right.
And all the shells that I shot so far in my Maxes, it didn't jam, and that's a gas operated gun. So even though it was low recoil, it did not have any problems cycling that shell. And especially, I saw somebody commenting talking about double barrels. Them stingers would be even better in a double barrel because your shoulder is taking all of the impact.
All of the impact. Yeah. I got a Browning side by side in my cabinet that I quit shooting even at a younger age because of, my shoulder was just taking a beating.
Yeah.
And I've got a bad shoulder to begin with. But I shot a double for years, man. So
I ain't gonna lie. That the other Browning Wicked Wings over and under is very sweet looking.
Yeah.
That's on the list to purchase. It the wife has cut the list off temporarily, but it is still on that paper.
Yeah.
Maybe one good raise at work. Maybe I'll trip and find $100 bill in the grass, and that line might get closer. But that is definitely on that list of owning.
My list is full right now.
But talking about that Browning Wicked Wings on that over and under, that cone is adjustable on the over and under.
Right.
Why? So I said I had the Maxes. It's got the rubber grip on it. Why can't they take the rubber grip, the adjustable cone, and all put it all on the same guns, and it just be across the board platform?
Across the board platform. Jeff says he likes his Kiki's recoil pad, takes care of the felt recoil.
Hey, talking about recoils, if you ever watch what is that guy's name? I think his name is Steve. He does shotgun reviews, and he's constantly shooting speed pigeons, and now he's on his own shooting range. But he shoots a hydraulic recoil, and I was like, I wonder how much them things are. It was mind blowing just on how much that hydraulic assisted recoil was. I'm like, well, no wonder you sponsored by them because
there's nobody else can afford them.
I think it was like $400 for a recoil, and I'm like, man, I think my shoulder's just gonna hurt for $400.
Craig is saying, if any of y'all are looking for some lab puppies, Craig just had a litter. He's ready to get rid of. I'd get one, but I already got one, so I already got what I'm going to get.
I already got mine too.
And that's when we were talking even last year, and I may not comment as much because usually when I'm watching videos, when I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm usually sitting right here. I got my other computer up. I'm working, and I've got my iPad up, and I'm basically listening. And I'll turn a channel on and just let some stuff play. So I may not get to comment as much as I want to, but your videos on, the shotgun is what piqued my interest.
Well, I appreciate it. People tell me all the time, hey, you need to do a better paper. You need to do a 30-inch circle, stuff like that. But, I'm putting down a piece of paper for people that can actually see what that shell looks like in a kind of real world scenario. Yeah. And I'm trying to give my opinion on it. And like I said, there's been some junk ammo that I've said 100% stay away from. And looking at one of them is that snow goose pattern. I would not at 10 yards want my wife to protect herself with it. And I got a whole box of it right here. This box right here. That is the worst. This is the out of, and I got tons of brands up there. And this is Winchester. It's a Winchester 3.5, 1,550 feet per second number ones and number two stacked up. And it's supposed to have this fancy wad that's supposed to. It was so bad the first time I shot it. I cut the video off, shot 2 more shells because I actually thought I missed the paper. Like I was like, there's no way. Did something just happen and I just missed the whole paper?
Yeah.
I shot another one. I'm like, this can't be. I went closer and it got worse. I said, and I posted the video. This is the worst shell I have ever shot in my entire life. You would be better off with pellets in your back pocket throwing it at the birds.
Yeah. Yeah, I quit shooting steel a few years ago, and when I switched over to Boss, and I had been shooting some bismuth, was a heavy shot makes a bismuth shot, and I have a couple friends, around that they reload, and they have reloaded me some bismuth, and it just took me back to my lead days. Not talking about the reloaders, because sometimes you get a bad load, sometimes you get a you know how that goes. Sometimes you get a hot load. But I'll never shoot steel again. I've got this cabinet behind me is full of it, and I'll keep some of it for like you keep an old box of shells, to remember long days gone by. But mine was Kent Fast Steel. I bought a case of Kent Fast Steel to go out west to go shoot ducks. And I think I would have been better off taking the shell, putting it in a slingshot, and flinging it at the birds. I mean, because you could. I mean, it's like I just couldn't believe.
I would put Black Cloud in that category too.
Well, see, here's where I'm gonna differ with you. I have Black Cloud, and I shot Black Cloud with great success. Great success.
Was that the old style or that new wad? The
old style. The old. Okay.
Them new ones have got that flight. It's got like some kind of little round ball
on top. Yeah, it's all. Yeah. No, this is the old stuff. I have one box. I have literally one box left of 12 gauge, and it has Duck Commander Phil Robinson on it. And that stuff and the number 3s for a 12 gauge was absolutely awesome. And the number 4s for a 20 gauge and 3-inch was absolutely awesome. But yeah, the newer stuff, yeah.
But talking about shotguns, people don't understand too is
that's what I was trying to.
Some of these videos that I had, I've cut these shells open, and when you cut a shell open, you need to be careful about it. But you would be surprised at how much filler is in certain shells, like flaxseed.
Right.
I cut one open a couple months ago, and I tell you, it looked like soap. It was like little white plastic. It looked like little bars of Dove soap or something. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, I paid money to have flaxseed in it, which you gotta have. I know somebody's gonna be like, well, you gotta have some kind of fillers, and that's true. But there's some. You got to be careful what you're paying for, and that goes back to I could buy 3 boxes of, let's just say, Winchester brand for $15 a box and not shoot no ducks, or I can buy a box of Boss and kill birds.
Yep.
I mean, you put your money where to kill them.
And when you say that, you could have a guy who could. I mean, I've got a buddy of mine who shoots nothing but Winchester Expert steel loads. That's all he shoots. That's the only thing he'll get. and he kills ducks. I gave him some Boss that I had in a 12 gauge, and he couldn't cut a feather with it. Yeah, go figure that one out.
But it could be the feet per second if they wasn't even the same, and he's used to leading.
A huge lead. Yeah,
he's used to leading with that steel. It ain't gonna be the same. You're gonna shoot behind them or in front of them. It ain't the same.
What?
But also, we both hunt on the coast, so we go down to Savannah some, and obviously we go to North Carolina just like you, and that's salt water.
Right.
Let's talk about two guns. Let's talk about the Maxxis 2 and your Sweet 16, just like my 12 gauge. That A5 is inertia. So when you pull the trigger, when you go boom, everything is going out that barrel. Get the gas, everything is going out the end of that barrel. The Maxxis, it uses some of that gas to go in that gas system because it's a gas system to drive that piston to cycle it. Well, I was shooting some steel because that's all I had at the time down in Savannah in salt water, and that gas and that the fragment of that steel of that shot was coming out and getting inside of the gun. Well, guess what happened to that steel in that salt water?
It rusted.
Now, granted, both of them guns are wicked wings, so everything's Cerakoted and it will wipe right off. But just letting people know, when they're shooting steel and you're on the coast, you got a chance of getting carbon or steel pellets, fragments that's going to rust.
Yep.
And at least shooting Boss, you're not going to get rust from that copper coated bismuth.
Yep.
And the A5, you're not going to get any because it's sending it all down the barrel.
Yeah, and a lot of people, of course, I grew up with being able to shoot lead, and as well as I do, the early steel shot was trash. I
hear about it. Remember, I've only been a duck hunter 4 years, so
Well, I'm telling you, it was actually trash. You're talking about steel rusting. I know one guy who hunted the coast religiously, and he was going up the Outer Banks. I mean, that was his thing. He'd go up there for a week. He'd come home for a week. He'd go back up there for a week. I mean, it was just, he was constantly at the Outer Banks, and he was taking care of his gun. I mean, he would, his gun was cleaned every day. And as far as the gun was concerned, he was cleaning it every day. However, you can't clean ammo. Oh, you can wipe the moisture off, but you cannot clean ammo. And one day, he was reaching down, grabbed some shells, was loading up fast, and went and pulled the trigger and blew the barrel off.
Yeah, because it became a slug.
Because it became a slug, and it hit the choke tube and blew the end of the barrel off.
Any shells that fall in the water in the coast, it stays there.
Oh,
I ain't picking it up and reshooting it.
I've done that with last year with Boss. I was loading up fast and dropped the Boss shell in the water, and it's right there. I can see it. I left it.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to praise Boss on everything. You drop Boss in water, or like when we're kayaking and you got your shells right here and you're paddling, it's splashing. That copper on top, it will rust.
Yeah.
It might not rust. It might corrode.
It corrodes, yeah.
Right. So what I like to do is I like to take my shells and vacuum seal them. Not the whole box. Do like 10, vacuum seal it. 10, vacuum seal it. Because you hunting that coast, and I mean, you're gonna get some nasty shells. Everything is nasty, especially in the marsh.
Oh yeah.
That is some foul smell too. So if somebody's getting into duck hunting and they say, "Hey, let's go to the marsh," I'm just gonna prepare you. That mud is some. I can't remember the exact name of what a lot of them people call that mud. It's some kind of puff something.
Pluff
It
mud.
is. Oh man! And the more you stir it up, the worse it smells.
Worse it gets. Yeah.
Especially when you kayak, and it will get like in your boat, and it's just.
Oh yeah.
It's just part of it.
Yeah, that's just part of the experience. Well, yeah, you say you've been duck hunting for 3 years. Do you have any species of ducks that you haven't had a chance yet? I mean, haven't had an opportunity. I know I know you love to goose hunt more than anything. But as far as ducks go, there we go. Let one out. Pluff mud.
No. I was looking at my goose.
Yeah. I thought you were.
No. That's my favorite mount, my goose.
Hey Scab, what's going on, brother? Long time no see.
Yes, I have a list of what I want. Cinnamon teal. That's obviously probably on everybody's list. A pintail, which I really hope to get a pintail this year. If you listen to what they talk about,
yeah,
we may not be able to shoot pintails next year.
I know.
I hope that don't come true because we don't get a whole lot of pintails in South Carolina. So I'm hoping to go to North Carolina, do some hunting this year. Definitely the Outer Banks again. I want to go to Georgia. A redhead would be on that list. A speck and a sandhill crane. A speckle belly is probably way up there with the pintail on my list.
Right.
And a sandhill crane. I really want to shoot a sandhill crane.
Well, if you do, make sure it's dead before you walk up on it.
Oh, I will love watching them videos of them birds coming alive, attacking them people.
Oh man, them things are. Woo.
People don't really take into consideration how big them birds are.
They are huge.
I mean, like geese. I love watching videos of people in the park and the geese are attacking them. I was at my son's ball game 2 weeks ago, and there was this little kid. He was running out across the fields, making the geese fly up, and they flew and got on the water right there at the baseball field. And I knew that there was a mama with some baby birds on it. And obviously I couldn't go over there and tell that kid to quit because that mama was fixing to jump on him. But I was a good 2 baseballs of fields away, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for that goose just to start. But yeah, people don't know how big them geese and them swans and them sandhill cranes are.
Mm-hmm.
They're huge.
They are, yeah. And a sandhill crane is deadly.
And we have sandhill cranes in South Carolina.
Yes, we do.
Down there in Santee, mostly on the lower lake.
Yep. We do get them. We just can't hunt them.
And I listen to other people's podcasts too, and they say them sandhill cranes, once you start getting them, they start taking over.
Anti is wanting. You've never shot a sandhill. Have you ever eaten a sandhill crane?
They say it's like a ribeye.
And I'm going to answer this question for you. I have shot sandhill cranes. I have cooked them and I have eaten them. And by far, they are the best tasting waterfowl over everything, even wood ducks. They're dark meat. I don't know if you've ever had ostrich before, but it's very, very similar to the ostrich. And ostrich to me is the finest bird out there to eat. It's like eating steak. Very, very, very good eating.
So Jeff has 2 comments in and one of them makes sense, and I disagree on that other one. He says it smells like perfume, that marsh smell.
Yeah,
I don't know. There musk for men don't even smell that bad. And I don't know where he's at, but he's saying we can come shoot some specs.
He's out west, so
oh man, that's right.
He said he's out west, and I don't know if Jeff has hunted. Jeff, have you ever hunted on the coastal marshes? Because I'm going to tell you, I've hunted up and down the East Coast. I've hunted the Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast doesn't smell that bad. But let me tell you something. That East Coast, South Carolina, North Carolina pluff mud will gag a maggot at times.
I'll tell you something else that got me this year. Hunting in the Outer Banks. We go, get there, we climb up them pole blinds, and as soon as I open the door,
yep.
Oh my, like gaggable. Like, what is that smell? And as soon as the sun come up, I saw what it was. Them big old pelicans and the
yep.
I cannot think of the bird. Brain went dead. The ones that eat fish, not our state.
Cormorant.
Yeah, our state black birds that we can't shoot. Eat, them birds eat so much fish out there in the Outer Banks, they can't even fly.
Yeah,
like they start taking off and they look like an airplane trying to take off because they eat so much fish. But they get up there and they poop and throw up and in them blinds. And if it wasn't for the wind to blow, I'm telling you, I would have lost it in that blind because it was rough.
Years ago, we had an actual cormorant season. It started in February, and you had to go through this little class, take this class, and then you could get a permit. And there was no limit, no plugs in the gun. I mean, it was just you just shoot.
Well, I wish they'd bring it back.
Anyway, me and some friends, we got into one boat, and thank God it was not mine. Mm-hmm. And we started shooting cormorants, and we'd have two shooters in the front of the boat, and we just run up into them, and just lay waste. And I understand, guys, these permits are deprivation permits. So, it's not like they're all deprivation. You cannot eat a cormorant.
No.
Unless you're, if I was starving.
The only way to eat them is to nail them to a board, cook them, throw the bird away, and eat the board.
Eat the board, yeah. But we had two shooters and two guys hanging off the sides with dip nets, and then of course the boat driver, and we would all switch out. And
I can't bringing them in the boat.
We were taking they were taking these cormorants, dipping them, hitting the dip net, and just flinging them in the back of the boat. Well, they got to stinking so bad that the guy that owned the boat burned it. He could not get the smell. He took the motor off of it and literally burned the boat. Just burned it down. He couldn't smell it. He couldn't get the stink out of it.
I was kayaking, duck hunting one time, and I was kayaking, and I kayaked up to them, and then they took off and flew by me, and it was horrendous, the smell. I mean, it was some of that you can't make up. It's like a refrigerator that had food in it, and you unplugged it and came back a year later and you opened up the door. That's what they smell like.
Yeah.
And they really do not help our population. They eat a lot of fish.
Yes. They'll eat a 2-pound bass. Easy.
Absolutely. If they can get it down their throat, they will eat it.
Yep. Oh man. The only birds that, as far as I consider, puddle ducks, is a cinnamon teal and both of the whistlers, the furbless and the black belly. Those are the only 3 that I haven't shot yet.
They are on my list too, and they're down there on Savannah Coast.
Now we got them here.
It's amazing to hear them coming by.
I tell you what. Anytime you're ready, like I said, Fridays and Saturdays are my days off. If you want to come down, I can take you straight to them right where they're at right now. They're here now. They're
Yeah,
here
we'll do
right
that.
now.
We'll do that. We'll do it.
Charles Holden says, what was the reason for not having the Cormorant season anymore? Well, from what I understand, is we put a hurting on them so bad. The first couple of years we had this, there was no rules and regulations to it. The first year, I mean, and I'm not saying there should be. What I'm saying is we were running up into the middle of the flocks and shooting them, and I think DNR or maybe even a group of people didn't think that was sporting enough, not understanding that what we were doing was deprivation permits and trying to save our lake from becoming a water desert because there were so many cormorants on there eating all the fish. But that's I mean, I don't know why they stopped. I wish they'd bring it back.
And I would definitely all these lead shells that I got, I would definitely shoot. I would empty boxes on them birds. They would definitely. They would not get no ball shells. I guarantee you. But
oh no, I got a satchel in my closet right now of T-shot that we bought just for shooting those things. I haven't shot them since.
I bet your shoulder would know that now, wouldn't it?
It's 3.5-inch tees. Yeah. Yep. Oh, I wouldn't be the shooter now. And of course I still wouldn't be in my boat. I'd take somebody else's boat and I'll drive y'all. I'll drive y'all around, but y'all gonna do the dirty.
Nah, I don't even want to be in that boat with that. I take the old mud over that.
Oh, I would buy if they brought the cormorant season back. I would buy a pair of the cheapest chest waders that I could find, and I'm talking about the $75 cheapies. Even the boot foot stockings that trout fishermen wear, the cheap ones. I mean, the absolute cheapest.
The ones you wear your regular tennis shoes with.
Yep, and then I would buy a rain suit and jacket, and that's what I would wear. Because if that stuff if those birds get on you, you have to throw away your clothes. You can't wash it out. Appreciate that, Anti. Thank you so much. But yeah, man. So what else, man? What else is other than ducks? I know you love to hunt geese. And I know that you do a lot of pond hopping.
Yeah. We're getting prepared for dove season. I love dove season. So yeah, that's not too far down the road.
No, it's not. 88, 89 days. 90 days at the most.
We're in June. So I mean, we're almost halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And I really think doves taste really good.
Oh yeah,
I haven't been following you long enough to watch any cooking videos on doves.
I have not.
Other than the one dove recipe that you showed, I'm not a fan of eating.
What, the Perlo?
Nah.
Oh, that one, the hand grenade.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that recipe.
Oh, that was all right. So there's a story behind everything. And I've always been the kind of guy that's I'll do stuff to make people go, what did he just do? And before I did that video, I wish I had a camera the day I did it and got the biggest reaction. But I was at a public dove field. And I had I was really on my mark that day. I mean, I could take the gun and flip it over behind me and pull the trigger and shoot a dove in front of me. It was just one of those days. We all have them. And I had already shot my limit, and I was hanging out with some guys in the field, and we were just talking. Anyway, we walked back to the check station, and there was a U.S. Fish and Game guy there, and he was acting really snotty. That just has that snotty attitude. And I dumped my birds out. Well, one of them was still alive. And of course, I didn't realize it. He said, "Excuse me, sir, but you need to dispatch that bird." And I went, "What?" He said, "You need to dispatch that bird." And I was like, "Huh, okay." So I grabbed the bird, and had he just said, "You need to take care of that," I'd have probably just popped his head off and dropped him, held him down, just let the blood come out. But instead, I popped him in my mouth, pulled it like a grenade, poof, shot the head across the table, threw the bird. It's flopping and blood going everywhere. And there were 3 teenage girls that were there with their boyfriends, and all 3 of them threw up at the same time. And this guy is backing away, trying to get away from everything, and everybody around me was just laughing and cutting up. They said that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. But yeah, so I said, well, if I ever get the chance again, I'm going to put that on video, and the heck with it. You decided to come on.
So
Go ahead.
Another bird on my list that I would like to take off the list before duck season would be a pheasant. I've never been pheasant hunting, and I really want to go out west where, I'm not going to say it's a man's sport. So, but I'm not saying no women, but it is like the gentleman, like when you got your double barrel and you walking around and you got your dog in the woods. It's like old style English. Just watching the videos, I'm like, I think that's what my great ancestors would have been doing. They were probably too poor to do anything like that. But it's like the gentleman's hunt, and I want to do that.
Yeah.
And we don't have that in the state. We have pheasants, but they're just cage raised.
Yeah,
Or they're throwing it off the top of towers. I mean, that's not. Oh, somebody's got a squeaker.
Yeah, she does.
But yeah, I want to go pheasant hunting.
Hang on. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm having to entertain here.
So supposedly, somewhere down there near your neck of the woods is a plantation. It's off of, I'm thinking it's the Catawba River or part of the Catawba River going down into Santee. Somewhere around Sumter, there's a big plantation that.
It's the Watery River.
That's it.
Yeah.
And they have pheasants and quails and stuff like that, and
it's all preserved. It's all
right.
Preserved hunting, yeah. Yeah, it's all.
I do want to go down there. In
they
season.
They got a place in Society Hill as well.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever been to Society Hill.
Well, it's closer to Lancaster than Sumter, but there's one in Society Hill, right outside of Society Hill. As a matter of fact, when she got my squeaky duck. As soon as this duck season is over with this year, I'm actually going to be taking Bougie to Kentucky. I have another friend of mine who's a YouTuber. His name is Jay Binknell from the Binknell Bunch. And I'm going to drop her off for a couple of months and have him train her for bird hunting, for, pointing. I haven't trained a pointing dog in so long just for, pointing birds that I'd want him to do it. I would want somebody else to do it for me. And so I'm going to take her, but there's a lot of preserves around, and I'm going to start taking her to some of these preserves, not this year, but the following season. and letting her hunt quail. And
I want to experience that. Other than watching YouTubes, I've never seen a dog just get locked on and just, when I hear stories about when they get locked on to a bird, you pretty much have to go over there and push them out of the way before they ever get unlocked.
Boy, she just bit my daggum thumb, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that little puppy tooth went clear to the bone. I think it brought water to my eyes. I know it made my nose snot up. Ooh. But we're can I laugh when she points a duck? Yes, you can. If I can get her to point a duck, that will be hilarious, dude. I'm just gonna straight up tell you.
She gonna point at that duck. I ain't going out there and getting that. You shot it. You go get it.
But I don't know. I lost my train of thought. This crazy dog of mine running in and out. I think that'd be funny, Jeff, if she ran up to a dead duck and pointed it. It would. Yeah, that would. I would. That would be funny. That'd just be too funny.
But yeah, I definitely.
That's it.
I look them up.
Yeah, they're.
That's definitely on my list. I definitely want a pheasant hunt.
Well, I mean, like I said, man, we can get together and try to get us a hunt up and go walk behind their dogs, to experience it.
I like you. We both love duck hunting. Half the time I don't even have to pull the trigger. I just enjoy watching them. And I told you this, the geese, I just love to go watch them fly. I love to hear them. I love to watch them. It's not always about pulling the trigger.
No. And that's, I tell people, especially on my videos, I'm bringing it real life. Nothing against the guys that go out there and shoot limits every day. But you don't always do that, and I mean, it just doesn't always happen that way. There are days, that you may get one duck or maybe two if you're lucky. And, and but you can always have a good time. That's why, when I'm hunting with other guys and I got other guys in my party and we're hunting, my first question is always going to be to them, how long do you want to stay? Because if we're going to stay for a while, I'm bringing something to cook and I'm going to eat.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with apple pies and nabs and a Diet Mountain Dew, but I like to cook. So, I put out these cooking sausage, my biscuit maker and the sausages, but I'm gonna bring something to cook. If we're gonna be staying out there, I want to eat, now if it's a walk-in hunt, you better bring you a Mountain Dew and a pack of nabs because I ain't toting all that stuff in there.
I agree with you. I love eating too. So, I mean, I like going on these trips just to try different restaurants.
Jeff is saying, come up here and get them some wild birds. Mark is saying, I love pheasant hunting. South Dakota is where you need to go, RD.
See, they're all out west. We're just going to have to do like a big road trip.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
We're going to get the band back together.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we do, we're going to have to stop some. There's a guy up in Missouri. I mean, not Missouri, but in Minnesota that we're going to have to go see and hunt with him. So, Cody from After 5 Outdoors, if you're in there listening in the shadows, me and RD may all of a sudden show up at your doorstep. Give us a corner of a room to sleep in. But yeah, dude, I mean, there's a lot of memories can be made. I mean, the other day, my dad and I went fishing. I think between us both, we caught 5 bass, a brim, and a molly. And I had the best time. Well, we didn't tear them up. We just had a good time talking, yelling at each other, telling each other we're idiots, and just laughing and joking and carrying on. Um, so it's a lot of it about just making memories about what's going on, you know. And I do like watching the ducks too. I love watching them fly. I like watching them work. I like watching a good dog work. I like listening to a good caller, watching the dog work, watching the birds work, the decoys and the calls. I love it all, everything about it. I'm trying to read some of these. You still there, or did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
reading them too.
All right. Yeah, you look like you froze up. I'm like, oh crap, I'm talking to myself.
No, I'm here. But yeah, maybe one day get out west.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it'd be fun. I really would like. I really like to go to Canada.
I've been, and my gosh, um, I went all the way up to Canada, and I went to Alberta, and this was pre YouTube, but I had cameras, and not knowing what to do and when to do things and whatnot. The footage I got was just terrible. I mean, absolutely 100% terrible. Even for even for a beginning YouTuber, it was just like dark and you couldn't see. But I'm going to tell you that my experience in Canada was unbelievable. It's in my top 5 hunts.
And they're changing the rules up in Canada so much that sadly, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to go. I mean, I ain't trying to get political on there, but I mean, they're literally you listen to them podcasts, them boys. You got to have your shots now, which I think some of that's changed. But you had to have your shot before you could even go. But now they're talking about, and I'm not going to speak exactly because I don't remember how it is because Canada's different. They got like I don't think it's regions, but they got territories or something like that.
Provinces.
That's it. And they're changing the rules so much on their hunting that they're almost trying to get rid of it. But we know what's going to happen to the farmlands if they don't get rid of all them geese.
Yeah.
They ain't going to have no farmlands.
Yeah.
So they're trying to ban, and then I saw something about taxing, and I mean they're changing so much up there that the licenses are changing. So I don't know. I might not ever make it, but it would be on the list.
Yeah, if the restrictions level out, I would go back to Canada. And I don't want to get political either on here, but they need a new change. Just like we do. But like I said, don't want to get too political on here.
And if we ever put Canada on the list, that list of ducks that I know you probably got too, the king elder would be on that list too, but it's so far down on the list that I can't probably even afford to even go shoot one of them.
Mine's a harlequin.
Really?
Yeah, I want to go to Alaska and shoot the harlequin. That is my bucket list duck to go shoot. I want the cinnamon teal. I want a full plume Drake cinnamon teal. But the harlequin duck you go to Alaska to hunt them that is my big time bucket list. And I don't know if I'll ever make it. maybe one day.
But doesn't North Carolina have them?
Harlequins? No, as far as I know, the only place you can get those are on the west, out west, in Alaska.
I thought there was
maybe Oregon, but
what bird I'm thinking about is in North Carolina. I think you couldn't shoot them last year, but they kind of look like them. But yeah, I think them King Gelders are like $5,000 a hunt or something.
ooh,
Not even including the plane. Like the guided tour is like $5,000.
Hey, Jam, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, Alaska would be, which you can't see it right here. My other one, I love ruddy ducks, and a summer plumage Drake ruddy duck is on my list too.
Really?
Yeah. Which
Okay.
you can't. There's the ruddy duck. I don't have the summer plumage. I came really close last year. He still had the nose was still in color, but the rest of his body was not.
Right.
So I really wanted to get one of them. But them guys out in California, they shoot them like wood dust to us.
Yeah.
I mean, like constantly, they're shooting ruddies in full plumage, and it's like, it's just a wood duck. Well, okay. To you,
I wish I could I wish I could, but YouTube has a thing on live streams about showing firearms, so I can't. But it's on the video, bro. it's on the video.
Jan said we got a few in the Mississippi flyway, but I don't know which bird.
No, I'm assuming
we covered like 5 species real quick.
I guess you're talking about ruddy duck. We have them here. I mean, I have shot one so that I could say that I did, but I've had them come in the decoys. I just let them go. I don't even pull the trigger anymore on them.
Yeah, they're almost like buffle heads.
Well, I'll pull the trigger on a buffle head, but a ruddy duck, man, them things. I mean, they're so hard to clean. I mean, they're just so tough to clean. They are not good tasting at all. I don't care how much cayenne pepper and garlic you put in there. I don't like the way they taste.
Now, we eat a lot of ruddy ducks, but it's in gravy and rice.
Yeah, well, I would eat the rice and gravy and throw the duck away. That's why I don't shoot them, because I don't eat them, and I'm hopefully going to Florida again this year, and when I do, my target is the furvolous and the black-bellied whistling duck. I've shot a model duck, so I'm not really concerned about that. I'd like to shoot more, of course, but I have shot a model duck.
The people in the Outer Banks, they talk about them black ducks are constantly on the marshes. They just ride up and down the marsh in boats and shooting black ducks like wood ducks to us.
Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy how we sit here and say, hey, I want this kind of duck, and then people that have them ducks, they don't think nothing.
They don't think nothing of it.
Nothing of it.
Well, I mean, I can sit here and tell you now that there was one time when I was growing up, and I had to be it was usually the coldest duck seasons, and if the water was right and it flooded a certain area, we shot black ducks like most people shoot mallards in the timber. We just don't see that anymore, I mean, it was nothing. You know, it was like, what'd you shoot today? A couple black ducks and some mallards. Average day, huh? Yeah. And that was here. That was here at Santee. You know,
Well, last year they shot some black ducks in Lancaster.
yeah. Jan saying he agrees with us about shooting one for the mount, not good table fare. His trophy bird would be the cinnamon teal. I know you already saw the Sweet 16 vid. I wish I could sit here and show it to you again, but I you know how YouTube is, man. They get weird.
You know, I always just wonder, does the cinnamon teal actually fly through our state? Like, how much of a unicorn is that?
I know. I don't know the guy. I heard. You know, I heard about a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the birds. All ducks will cross over. I mean, we do actually get ducks from British Columbia, and that's far west Canada. You know, we do get a certain amount that come from there. So these are crossover birds. Mississippi and Central Flyway get some of our Atlantic raised ducks. So yeah, I think yeah, you could say a few, and you know, by early teal season when people are shooting they think they're shooting blue wings, could actually be shooting a cinnamon teal and not know it because of, you know, especially if it's a hen, because the hens look so much alike that they could have, you know, that could have been a cinnamon teal hen. I think the drakes would be a little bit different because even in a juvenile or what's the word? Not plumed out blue wing still, you still see part of that crescent on his head. So yeah, I think a few. I think there could be a few that come through. But if you're going to shoot them, you know, fully plumed out, I mean, you got to be in California. Somebody said, Jan said he only one he ever saw was in Western Oklahoma. So
I know they shoot a lot of them down there in Louisiana.
I'm sorry?
I know they shoot a lot of them down there in Louisiana.
The blue wings. I don't know if they shoot that many cinnamon. They might. I mean, I don't know. But I think if I was going to go just for cinnamon teal, I'd be hitting California. That's the area I would start off in.
Heck, you can't buy. Their ammo rules are crazy out there.
Oh, they're crazy out there to begin with, but yeah, that's where I would start. I mean, either California or Mexico, and I'm not going to Mexico anytime soon, so rule that out. Of course, I would not be the guy they would try to kidnap because I'm just way too fat. So all I have to do is sit down, and you know, they try to kidnap and ransom me. I just sit. You know, they take 5 of them to pick me up. So, you know,
that is a valid point. I ain't never really thought of it like that.
And the reason I say that, when I was over in Iraq, you know, we would always, you know, there was a couple, you know, trust me, I was not this big when I was overseas. You know, I was working out constantly. But it was funny. Some of the guys said, "Hey man, well, you know, why don't you come work out with me?" And they like, "Nuh-uh, man, I want to gain weight." I said, "Why?" He said, "Ain't nobody gonna kidnap me. I'm too fat. They take 5 of them to pick me up. All I gotta do is sit down." You know.
That's funny. Oh, Jan, that's funny.
Oh my goodness. So you got anything upcoming? I mean, I know you got a video coming out Saturday, you said?
Yeah. The kayak not to buy.
Yeah, the kayak. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a weight issue kind of. Per the sticker, I was nowhere near that weight, but after editing the video and then watching as I paddled how low the boat is actually sitting, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty funny too, and it was not planned at all. So
I can't wait to see it.
yeah.
I'm gonna wait. Yeah.
And sadly, when the wife got home, I told her, I was like, that kayak I just bought. She was like, yeah. I'm like, it didn't work out. She was like, what do you mean didn't work out? Like, I'm like, it didn't work out. Then I'm gonna have to sell it and buy another one. What you mean? And then I showed her the video, and she started laughing. And then she was like, okay.
You got
I mean, and that is a sad part. I mean, it ain't like you can go test a kayak out.
Right.
I mean, who would have knew?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
we need a rent kayak company.
We're coming up on 2 hours. It's an hour and 56 minutes. We're going to shut this down here in a few. But guys, if you don't have RD in your list of YouTube to watch, do me a favor. Go ahead and take a look at his channel. Do it the right way. Watch a video. When you're done, then hit the thumbs up. Then leave a comment. Then subscribe. Make your subscription the last thing you do. But go check him out, man. He's got some really good stuff on, especially the shotgunning and the shooting and the chokes. I really did. Like I said, I watched a lot of it again today, and I had it's real informative. It's got a lot of good things. Real good guy. Now, you also do merchandise, real quick. You do merchandise, hats and shirts, right?
Yes, we just started down that road of.
Okay.
So I got the hat, the shirt, and some stickers.
Okay. Where can they find you at as far as YouTube? What other social media can they find you from?
Pretty much, I try to make everything RD Rentals Outdoors. So rdrentals.outdoors.com is the website. On Facebook, it's RD Rentals Outdoors, and I try to use this logo as when you type in RD Rentals on Facebook, you're going to find a bunch of stuff. So I tried to use the logo to match across the platforms, but okay. YouTube, Facebook, and on the website.
Okay, great.
But there is I don't know if you've seen the back, but I'm not sure if it's in the picture, but it's in a couple of my videos. Obviously, I did leave out that my main job is IT. I've done IT for like 25 years. That is the source of how I pay for shotgun ammo. But I like to dress up. Some of my videos, I have dress shirts on. I did video with a suit
sports coat on.
Sports
jacket.
A
very ugly sports coat, by the way.
That is a nice jacket. Women like pink. See, that's the problem. Men don't. When you got blue eyes and you wear a pink jacket, them women be like, "I love that pink on you."
Yeah,
so the snow goose is in an outfit that kind of represents dressed up, and he's a grumpy old gray-headed snow goose, and it kind of just fits, just like the older you get, the grumpier you get. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. Well, hang on one second. Charles, if you're still here, take care. Appreciate you showing up. Mark, if you're still here, thank you so much. Jeff, you take care of yourself. Guys, we're going to call it a night. RD, thanks for coming up. And you are welcome. Anytime you see me on live, let me know you're here. You're more than welcome to come up. I did get a hold of Chris. He couldn't make it tonight, and I know that Bruce was busy with some family stuff. And I'm kind of hoping the four of us can now get together and just have a big panel and just discuss a lot of stuff about duck hunting and all that kind of good stuff.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. I just a up and coming, just like you. I mean, we're both up and coming, and I wanted to hunt last year with you, and the weather itself just
it didn't work.
It didn't. We were fighting not being cold enough and no rain, and I wouldn't mind getting together with all of us. So
yep,
I have truck, have gas. All we need is food, and we'll travel.
I got the food, so we'll travel. Anyway, everybody in chat, appreciate y'all coming in. Y'all are a blessing. Y'all have a great week, and we will see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365. Good night, y'all.